Hey there, it is JRSD here. I'm your coach of the Seattle Pidgeots, and we are here for week number 7, I think. Yeah, number 7 of the IBL, season number 7 as well. Um, this week we were going up against my man Sky, aka Sky Gamer, the Aussie man himself, and he is a very terrifying team. Um, Torn T, Necrozma, Zarude, Toxapex, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Alolan Ninetales, Jolteon, Mega Adino, Steelix, Gogoat, Camerupt, and Sliggoo. So yeah, right off the bat, this was my first week with the trades for Mudsdale, Simeon, Manetric. Yeah, I think it was. So this is the team that I decided to bring. Rocky Helmet, Slowbro, Scald, Toxic, Slack Off, and Teleport. Uh, the Rocky Helmet there just to punish U-turns from Torn and Zarude, potentially Urshifu as well. Mostly Urshifu though, because it pretty much walls Urshifu. And the Rocky Helmet will help versus Surging Strikes as well. Diancie, next up. Just basic set there with Protect to scout for Steel type move on Tornadus. And on, I think it was Ninetales too, gets Iron Tail, which is kind of funny. But yeah, just Protect a Scout and 3 attacks. Pretty good versus this team. Choice Banded Crawdont, very good in this game. Other than Zarude, his resists are Gogoat, to Water Stab, and Jolteon, I think, and Sliggoo, which doesn't really take anything. But yeah, so Crunch plus Aqua Jet really just went in this matchup. Next up, bringing Mudsdale for the first time with the Assault Vest set, Earthquake, Body Press, Rock Slide, and Heavy Slam. Uh, Basically, looking at his team, Mudsdale did a lot of damage to everything. Whether it be Rock Slide, whether it be Earthquake, whether it be Heavy Slam. Basically, yeah. So just wanted to hit things. Then we're bringing specially defensive Registeel, Seismic Toss, bleh, Seismic Toss, Thunderwave, Stealth Rock, and Protect. And then a Sub Roost, Freeze Dry, Dragon Pulse, Kyurem Black, to basically set up a sub on the Toxapex, or like a passive Audino, or a passive Jolteon as well. Well, not passive, I guess, but like a Jolteon basically can't touch Kyurem. So yeah, yeah, that's the team. He brought Urshifu, Torn, Toxapex, Audino, Zarude, and Necrozma. I figured he would bring the big five there. I thought he might bring Steelix, or the Ninetales over the Audino, but you know, whatever. I just lead with Mudsdale because I figured he might lead with Toxapex. Seeing as I have no removal, it was kind of tough. Excuse me. When I looked at the team preview or whatever, I was like, oh, he could have toxic spikes, and that could be very annoying for my team. So I just wanted to get Big Earthquake here off, but he ends up being Shuckaberry, so he pretty much like read me like a book. So yeah, toxic spikes really annoying. I go immediately into Slowbro. Didn't know if he would knock off or not, but I wanted to get Slowbro poisoned, and in case he sets up a second layer, didn't want it to get toxic, so I can always recover off. So he does go for knockoff, knocks off the Rocky Helmet. I just go for the teleport. Back into Mudsdale here, just to pressure, and I go for Heavy Slam. He crit on the Urshifu, which didn't really matter, but did like nothing. He does go for the Surging Strikes here now that it is free. He doesn't have to worry about Rocky Helmet. As I go into Slowbro, he goes back into Audino. I go for Scald this time. Does a good chunk actually, which led me to believe that he was more physically defensive. Here I just go for Slack Off, as he reveals to be Draining Kiss as his attacking move, and he also has Calm Mind, so that's fun. I go for Toxic. I'm pretty sure he had Heal Bell even when I clicked that, but you know, just gotta force it out anyway. And I go into Mudsdale here, which does nothing, or takes nothing from Draining Kiss, and get off a big heavy slam here. Does 38, so he's physically defensive. But here he goes into Torn. I go for Earthquake. I figured he might go into Toxapex or back into Urshifu. But yeah, so I go for Earthquake and it does nothing, which is unfortunate. Here I go for Rock Slide, because he actually couldn't take me out if he was like not Specs at that range, like with Hurricane. And if he was physical, he couldn't take me out either. So yeah, that was cool. He goes for Dragon Nets here with Mudsdale, as I just go big Earthquake here, get as much damage as possible. He goes for Knockoff to take me out there, and this thing is a problem. I go for Protect just to scout if he has Earthquake, because if he didn't have Earthquake, and if he was like, I don't know, like Iron Defense or Recover, and just knock off and Photon Geyser, then Registeel pretty much stopped him, but obviously didn't. I go for Thunder Wave, but he turns out to be Lumberry, which is quite annoying. And so he takes out Registeel and basically gets nothing out of it. So now that I know that he doesn't have Brick Break or I don't know if he gets Thunder Punch, but something to hit Groudon basically, super effective. I know I can live one hit at +1 and take it out with a Liquidation or Crab Hammer, whatever I went for there, Crab Hammer. And I went for Crab Hammer just because, in case he wanted to go on Dino on a crunch. He's able to go into Zarude and take me out with U-turn. Go on Urshifu there. I go Slowbro and basically kind of starts a pivoting war here. I go into Diancie, and he goes into Toxapex. I Mega Evolve, go for Protect, to scout for the Iron Tail. That's what I was doing there. I go back and Slowbro here. Basically walls the Toxapex at this point, because I'm not poisoned. Or I'm not toxic, I guess. I figured he would switch, probably to this or Zarude, so I wanted to get a Toxic off, which I do. He misses a Hurricane, which sucked, but it did not take me out from that range, I believe. Unless he was Specs, which he was not, I believe. So that miss was kind of big, but I think it was okay in the end. Here he goes, Toxic Specs. I go into Diamond. I go for a Diamond Storm. And then I predict him going back into Torn here. I crit him with the Diamond Storm, which is unfortunate, obviously, because Torn can recover off, and that crit did matter. But he's still in a very kind of commanding position here. Basically, Toxic Spikes just messed up my whole day. I go for Moonblast there, as he just recovers off. I just didn't want him to go free into, or Toxapex. Or something else, basically. Yeah, just Audino. He goes into Audino as I go into the Kyurem. I sub up, and Freeze Dry is not doing a lot. Basically, he wins this war by Calm Minding eventually. But I do get a crit on him again. So I get all the hacks in this game, and it basically allows me to not get 5-0'd. Basically is what the hacks did. So with Zarude and Urshifu here, pretty bad position for me, but I am forced to let Slowbro go down there. And I know he can't take me out with one Scarfed Darkest Lariat, so I'm able to roost up here. As he takes toxic damage, and he's able to go into Pex there as I go for sub. And then can just roost off here. He can knock off, but it doesn't break my sub. I go Freeze Dry, does over half. I go for sub again here. I think if I... So I lose this game. 1-0 basically in the end. But I think if I roost here instead of just taking him out. And basically, if I can get up a sub and have full HP, it was a roll to live. Yeah. No, no, because it was Urshifu. No, never mind. I died every time. But I think in this kind of exchange here, I wanted to get back to full, but it was really not possible. Um, and yeah, yeah, it wasn't possible because I wasn't leftovers. If I was leftovers, it might be a different story, but then I'd be poisoned. So yeah, but whatever. We dropped a close game, basically because of hacks. We kept it close, but another 1-0, a loss again. So at this point, we were 3-4 with a +2 differential still. But yeah, this guy's a great battler, so I was pretty happy with 1-0. Fellow mod and all. Yeah, so if you like the video, leave a comment. If you're new, click subscribe. I post draft league content. And yeah, see you on the other side. Peace.